how many of you have ever seen or been to a rugby game before?
Oh, I don't understand it.
That hockey thing that plays.
Yeah, the All Blacks.
Australia, yeah.
Okay. Rugby is kind of a harder game to understand if you're just walking and just find it on TV. It doesn't make much sense the first time. But if you keep paying attention, you'll start to pick it up really quick because it's not a very complicated game. Each team, it's two teams always, and traditionally it's 15 on 15, which is the normal, but some in the summer they will do 7 on 7, but most players stay away from that because that's just a lot of running. It's just unpleasant to do. Some of the more important rules are the ball is never allowed to be thrown forward. It can only be thrown to the sides and backwards. If it's thrown forwards, it is a penalty and the game stops. The ball, if you have the ball, you have to run straight. You can't run any other way. Like if you see a tackler coming at you and you know one of your teammates is behind you, you can't shoot behind him because that is using him as a shield. And the ref will call that instantly and give them the ball right off the bat. You can, if the ball is kicked over your head by someone on your team and they are behind you, you're technically offsides, so you have to stay put until they can get in front of you. Otherwise, if you touch it, again, it's another penalty and you lose the ball. And when you try and score, it's a little different than football. It's more than just running in the try zone, because you can run in and still not score. You have to actually put the ball on the ground, or it's still live. There are 15 positions for, well, relatively 15. There's the forwards, which is the first 8, which are the really big guys who can just tackle pretty much anything on the field. And the 9 through 15, which are the faster, more agile players who usually score the points. What I have up here is a diagram of a scrum down, which is once most penalties occur, that's what happens. The ball is thrown into the middle between the forwards, and the number 2, which is the hooker, he can only use his legs and he has to try and fish the ball out with nothing but his right foot to get it back. Then it will go to the scrum half, and then he feeds it to the backs, and they keep going. The reason the two sides aren't the same is because if you have possession of the ball, you keep your backs at an angle, so you can just run, pass it off, and get it down to the fastest guy and get it out. But if you're on the fence, you keep the backs flat. So you can run up together and try and just force them to make a mistake and take the ball from them. Number 15 always stays the furthest back, because he is for when they go for a long kick that goes over everyone else's head, and he's supposed to quickly grab it up and just return it instantly. It doesn't always work that way, but sometimes it does. There's certain gear you can and cannot have, which I have on today. The gear some gear is illegal. You can't wear a cup. You can wear no pads at all. And for cleats, I wore these ones just to show which ones you can't have. You can't have a toe spike, because it's considered giving you too much of an advantage. And the ref will check at the beginning of every game. That's his main purpose, is to check. What you can have, though, is you are required to have a mouthpiece. If you don't have one, you're not allowed to play. You have to have the jersey, obviously, and it has to be collared. That's pretty much all you need. For penalties, there are just you can't, as I said, you can't throw the ball forward. So in conclusion, after hearing this, hopefully you can better understand a rugby game next time you see one.